Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Let's take a moment to talk about Game 4 of the NBA Finals. I have a lot of interesting notes for you. We're going to begin with LeBron James surpassing Magic Johnson's triple-double record for most triple-doubles in the NBA Finals. He came into the game tied with Magic Johnson, 8-8. He surpassed him, earning his 9th ever in the NBA Finals, a new record. And I want to show you why this is so interesting. This is the visual display they put up on the screen last night when LeBron surpassed Magic. Notice how they put the 9 and 8 stat forming a 98. In the language of gematria, National Basketball Association sums to 98, just like chosen one, just like chosen. And I'll remind everyone, 2 years ago in the NBA Finals, the first time the Warriors and Cavs met, Game 1 went to overtime, 98-98, exactly 98 days after the Warriors and Cavs had last played February 26th. And LeBron in that game ended up finishing with 44 points. In the language of gematria, overtime sums to 44. Chosen one also has gematria 44 in addition to 98. And a lot of people are wondering, can LeBron come back, win 4 straight, to be 4-4 in the NBA Finals all time? Again, these leagues are scripted, so anything is possible. What's unlikely is still possible. So this big accomplishment, it came June 9th. Cleveland Cavaliers equals 69. The name LeBron also has gematria of 96. Another way to write the date, June 9th, 9/6. We'll talk more about that later. From yesterday's game until Magic's upcoming 58th birthday is 66 days. So LeBron beat Magic 66 days before Magic's 58th birthday. Remember, LeBron equals 66. LeBron James equals 66. Number we talk about often. He earned his 57th triple-double of his career last night. Notice Magic Johnson's 57 years old. NBA Finals equals 57. Before the finals began, I said look for LeBron to get 2 triple-doubles in this series. And if he gets those 2, he might very well win the championship. Well, they still got to win 3 more games. They're in the same hole they were in last year now. But the point to understand is these games are scripted. They're scripted by the numbers. They're scripted to the date. It's all ritual. This is why he surpasses Magic 66 days before Magic's 58th birthday. And let's not forget, triple-double in the language of gematria equals 58. Like Freemasonry, like secret society. 58, the reflection of 85. Basketball, 85. Things we've been talking about for years now. So perfect alignment with surpassing Magic Johnson. Also, the first team in the NBA Finals history, and if I'm not mistaken, the last team to do it, the last team to come back from 3-0, being down 3-0, to force a Game 7 was 66 years ago. 66 years ago, it was the Rochester Royals against the New York Knicks. The Rochester Royals took a 3-0 lead. The New York Knicks won the next 3, but then the Rochester Royals closed out the Knicks in Game 7 at home. And if we see a Game 7 this year, it's going to be on the Warriors' home court. Now, the Rochester Royals, what's so interesting about this team is they're the Sacramento Kings. And I've talked about this before. LeBron James, King James, played his first ever NBA game against the Kings. And if you go back and look at the box score, which is there for all to look at, LeBron played in exactly 42 minutes. Remember, LeBron James equals 42. So does Muhammad Ali. At the beginning of these finals, we saw Muhammad Ali's ex call LeBron the Muhammad Ali of basketball. And with regards to Muhammad Ali, he was in a trilogy with Joe Frazier. He lost the first one. He won the next 2. Joe Frazier ended up dying by the numbers later in his life in Philadelphia, the original home of the Warriors. So there's some major riddles going around. The Rochester Royals used to be the Sacramento Kings, a team that LeBron has a lot of history with. See my video last year on the triple doubles LeBron has had against the Sacramento Kings and New York Knicks. I made a specific video about that exact topic. The triple doubles LeBron's had in his career against the Kings and the Knicks. Video from last year. Here's these two same franchises, and it was 66 years ago that they had this, Game 7 after being down 3-0. Is this telling us that we're going to see the same thing, deja vu, 66 years later? As I've said, these NBA Finals, this championship, because of the way the numbers are stacked, this is the hardest I've ever had a time seeing who the clear winner is. And I've been back and forth like a teeter-totter. So I'm just going to continue to lay out the facts and let you use your own mind to make your own judgment calls. But I think this being 66 years ago, in light of LeBron James being 66, LeBron 66, I think this is something worth taking a very good look at. Also, yesterday before Game 4, this was in the news. Katy Perry's Witness is a spectacular failure. The musician Katy Perry just came out with a new song called Witness. If you know about LeBron James, you know how this word witness connects to his Nike campaign. But check this out. Katy Perry, her birthday is October 25th. That was the date that this NBA season began, October 25th, 2016, a date with 71 numerology. It's the 71st season of the NBA. LeBron tied Magic Johnson's NBA Finals triple-double record 71 days before Magic's birthday. Then he broke it 66 days before Magic's birthday. What's interesting is Katy Perry and LeBron James are both going to turn 33 years old later this year. Katy Perry's birthday to LeBron's birthday is 66 days, which means this NBA season also began 66 days before LeBron's 32nd birthday. But just ask yourself, what are the odds? Katy Perry comes out with this song before Game 4, Witness. LeBron's advertising campaign with Nike is We Are All Witnesses. Again, this feeds into what I've been saying. The media, corporations, government, sports, it's all part of a big Masonic network. It's all a Masonic show by the numbers. And all these clues are dropped all around for the scripting to come. So Katy Perry, LeBron James, strange riddles. This song also came out 130 days, 38 days before Katy Perry's upcoming birthday. And she happens to have birth numerology of 138. That's a big number with Donald Trump and the federal government. And again, another topic, but Donald Trump, LeBron James, part of an ongoing narrative. LeBron plays in Quicken Loans Arena. Last year, Trump had his convention there. The day after Trump was announced the president, he went to the White House. The same day that the Cleveland Cavaliers were there to be congratulated for winning the championship. Last night, Game 4, first quarter, when the Cavs scored their 48th point of the first quarter, they put up a big stat, and they said that was a new NBA Finals record, 48 points in a first quarter. Remember, Cleveland equals 48, James 48, Donald Trump 48, Wall 48. Donald Trump ran on building a wall, announced as the president on the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. LeBron James has a show about a wall. On the 48th day of the 2017, the movie The Great Wall came out. Also, in the music world, after Game 3, the next day, this story came out that Phil Collins, the musician, took a nasty fall on his Not Dead Yet tour. And you know who wasn't dead yet when this news broke? The Cavs. They were down 0-3, almost dead, but not dead yet. And at the time I said, that's funny that Not Dead Yet's 1-1-3 in light of the Cavs and Warriors through the first 3 games of the NBA Finals having scores that ended with 113 points. And in Game 4, they almost did it again, right? The Warriors were stuck on 113 for a long time, and then one of their players hit a three-pointer with 7 seconds left. Otherwise, we would have had 4 straight games with 113 points. Remember, 113, the number of Scottish Rite Freemasonry. The date in history that King James was made the King of Scotland was a date with 113 numerology. Scottish equals 113. Special number. So Phil Collins, who's 66 years old, had this story about him. You know, another 66. What are the odds? Also, last night before Game 4 in college baseball, Davidson, which is Steph Curry's college, was playing Texas A&M, which isn't too far from the Texas Longhorns, who Kevin Durant used to play for, and they were in a 6-6 battle, which ended with a final score of 67. Huge number on these NBA finals. Kings 67, West 67. The Warriors won 67 games in the regular season. If the Cavs win the NBA finals, they're going to win 67 total games on the season. King. And that win would come June 18th, late, when Universal Standard Time, it'll also be June 19th, the real King James's birthday, just like how the Cavs won Game 7 last year on King James's birthday. As I've been saying for many months, a lot lines up for this series to go to Game 7. Started to read into that pie narrative, and I thought there was a strong chance for a sweep by the Warriors. But now that we're past that possibility, I do still think Game 7 is most likely. Who's going to win that Game 7? I'll let you decide. But I don't think that this college game being tied 6-6 in the 13th inning was any coincidence. 13 is the 6th prime number. I think this was a tribute to LeBron James before Game 9 in the scripted world of sports. If you missed how I showed how the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers winning the College World Series last year foreshadowed the Cubs would win the World Series, go back and check it out. These sports leagues are a script. This game also ended in the 15th inning. The Warriors' winning streak was snapped at 15 games in the playoffs. If you write out 15, it sums to 38 like finals. Also, college yesterday. College news headlines yesterday. North Carolina basketball player Luke Maye flipped over his SUV supposedly on Interstate 85, the same interstate that caught fire earlier this year by the numbers. Notice, basketball equals 85. This story was from June 8th, 6/8. This man flipped his SUV on Interstate 85 on June 8th. Show you how this connects. His birthday is March 7th. From the date of his birthday until the date of flipping his car, 93 days. 93 days. As I said before the tournament began, I liked North Carolina to play Gonzaga in the championship and win. And it was all in the numbers. I pointed out how North Carolina last won the championship in 93. Very special number in sports. This year the championship was on April 3rd, the 93rd day of the year. We saw North Carolina win on the 93rd day. Now 93 days after a player who was on that team, 93 days after his birthday, car crash, there's more. This incident from the date of the championship to the car flip was also 66 days later, or a span of 67 days. And if you go back and watch my video from before the tournament, I explained how the coach in North Carolina was 66 years old and how he was going to be turning 67 in a specific amount of days from the championship and how that lined up really well for a North Carolina championship. Now you see this player having this car crash ritual that really is a ritual in itself and a tribute to this rigged world of sports. This was 66 days later, or a span of 67. How many times are we going to talk about the same numbers here? And these are all headlines just from, the past 24, 48 hours. Also, put out a couple of videos on the death of James Hardy III and how that reminded me of LeBron James, The Godfather, the trilogy, the third straight finals between the Warriors and Cavs. The news of this man's death came June 8th. They said his body was recovered June 7th, and they said he was in the Maumee River, an Indiana river, specifically called the Maumee River. Notice it equals 68, like the date of the news of his death. 68, fateful number. Found June 7th. Maumee River also connects to 58 like Freemasonry. Look at how long this river is. 137 miles. In Indiana with the 137 gematria, the word champion has gematria of 137. After this man's death, the news of his death, King James, goes on to win with 137 points. Special number, 137, the 33rd prime. Let's not forget how it connects to 187, the homicide code either. But 137, the 33rd prime. We talked about how his death, or his date of disappearance, this man's date of disappearance, James Hardy III, he disappeared 216 days after Toya Wright's 33rd birthday. Toya Wright, celebrity, ex. This news all before LeBron James's 216th playoff game in the 216 area code Cleveland. Last year, Game 6, the last game in Cleveland, combined 216 points. So 33, special number, NBA Finals 33, Cleveland 33, LeBron 33, James 33, Stephen 33, Masonry 33, Secrecy 33, Order 33. Common number in these rituals, 33, number of sacrifice often. So RIP to this man. Just wanted to give you these additional notes talking about how all of this ties together. Last night at halftime, the score was 68-86. Gotta love that the Cavs scored 49 in the first quarter. They set the record with 48, and they scored one more on a free throw. Warriors equals 49. Kevin Durant 49. Revelation 49. Philadelphia, the original home of the Warriors, named from Revelation. King James with the 66th book Bible. The 66th book is Revelation. Revelation, always special. 49-33 in the first quarter. Gotta love it, right? 82 combined points, number of games in an NBA season. Warriors 35 in the second half, the King James number, the number Durant's wearing this year. But look at the score, 86-68. 68. We just talked about this young man's death. 68, fateful number. Caskets go 6 feet deep, 8 feet long. 86 and 68, reflections of each other. Remember, the first NBA Finals, the year it was named that, was 86. That's the year Len Bias died 213 days after his birthday. The NBA Finals equals 213. Game 1 of this year's NBA Finals, June 1st, the day that leaves 213 days left in the year. It was LeBron James's 213th playoff game. It was a span of 213 days to his December 30th birthday. 213. The word racism equals 213. We just got in the story about LeBron and the racism at his house in LA, the 213 area code. But this score, 68-86, you add it together, it sums to 154, just like King James, just like James W. Hardy III, which we talked about before the game was even played. For all of you, I see a lot of people who follow me getting frustrated with all the trolling I'm getting in the comments. Don't worry about the trolls in the comments. These people are paid for. They're here to discredit the work because the work is so on point. I've said 1,000,000 times. I have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that these games are scripted by the numbers. There's no argument. There's no one who could ever prove otherwise. It's a fact. I have proven a fact. Professional sports are rigged theater. They're scripted by the numbers. And when you know the language of gematria, you can see the scripting. And oftentimes, you can get ahead of the scripting and project what's going to come. Just like how from the first game of the season, based on the scores, I said, there's your clincher that we're going to be seeing the third straight year of Cavs and Warriors. That said, sometimes when they script these championships, the numbers overlap so hard with both teams, it can be hard to make a definitive call. You know? This work, it's still knowledge in progress. I broke something out in 2013 to the world that nobody had ever done before. You know? This was a secret to everyone until I came along. Now you see other people, you know, helping at the work, contributing at the work. You even see people that are shills who try to mock me and discredit me, taking some of this knowledge and trying to apply it. But anyway, the more people work at it, the more people stay with it, the further we're going to take it. And let's not forget how special 86 is in itself as a number. Symbol equals 86, triangle 86, pyramid 86, Eye of Horus, one of the most famous symbols there is. 86, I call 86 the symbol number. At halftime, the Warriors had taken 44 shots, 24 of 44. The starters had scored 46. Cleveland, they were 28 for 46. Their starters had scored 78 points and a half. That's amazing. It's all scripted. You know, there was no defense. There was no rebounding. You got magnetic rims. Talk about what Damian Lillard tweeted out last night, NBA player, about magnetic rims. But anyway, Cleveland equals 78, NBA Finals 78. Naismith, who created the game of basketball, died at 78, 22 days after his birthday. Basketball 22. These were all the records in the first half. Points in a quarter, 49. Again, Warriors 49. Kevin Durant 49. Points in a half. Combined points 154. 3-point field goals made, 13. Last year, LeBron James won the finals in his 13th season on the real King James' birthday, who was made a king at 13 months of age. The final score, 253 points. That's the 22nd triangular number, basketball 22. And again, 137, the 33rd prime. At the end of the game, the Warriors starter scored 84 points. Let's not forget LeBron James was born in 84. United States of America equals 84. King James died 84 days before his 59th birthday. That's important because King James, the Rosicrucians, Freemasonry, out of that period of time came the movement for the creation of the United States of America, the colonization of this nation. The Warriors also took 87 shots. This is interesting because it was 87 days after Steph Curry's Pi Day birthday. Stephen equals 87. The name James also has gematria of 87. They nearly lost with 113, but they put in that one last three-pointer as time was expiring. 7 seconds left. Kevin Durant, number 35, also scored 35 in the game. As for the Cavs starter scored 114 points. LeBron James equals 114. We were talking about how K equals 11, D equals 4, KD for Kevin Durant. He scored the 114th points in Game 3 that gave the Warriors the lead over the Cavs 114 to 113. Cavs couldn't score any more points in the script. They had King James playing 41 minutes. Remember, Game 1 of the Finals was his 41st NBA Finals game, King 41. I forgot to mention earlier that when LeBron got his 9th triple-double in the Finals, 9 has the gematria of 42 like LeBron James. Also, you had to love this. They did a stoppage of time with 2 minutes and 16 seconds left in the 2-1-6. They were sure to go all over, you know, show the players, show the crowd. 2-1-6. By the way, the 132 score, that's a special number. United States of America, 132. Catholic Church, 132. England, 132. Remember, these finals, they're scripted. They're connected to the Brexit vote last year. They're connected to the selection of Trump. These sports theater, these rigged games, they are synced up with your scripted news, your scripted elections. It's all part of a big show. Let's not forget that King James came from the UK. And let's also not forget about these numbers. Princess Diana equals 132, and she died 132 days from the Queen's birthday. Also, Princess alone sums to 113, that number that we talk about all the time. The tunnel she died in, gematria of 113. She supposedly crashed into the 13th pillar in the tunnel. It's all ritual, from rig sports to fake news. Look at it, 216. They got to go all over. They got to keep that 216 up there. And then I loved how they showed this highlight before they went to commercial. This is all before the 216 freeze. You can see he's shooting with 2:19 left. By the way, from the start of the regular season to the start of the finals was 219 days. It would be LeBron James's 219th playoff game, Game 7. But anyway, after they showed the Kyrie shot, then they went to LeBron doing, one of his rituals with his hands, whatever he's doing. They showed that from 2 to 23. Remember, King James ruled over the 3 kingdoms for 22 years. 22 years over 3 kingdoms. 223, very important number to Masonry. So also, here was another thing that a lot of people didn't catch. I saw a lot of people in the comments saying they caught when they stopped the clock at 2:16, but I don't think many people caught it when they stopped the clock at 3:18. Remember, that's the reverse of pi and a number connected to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Golden State had 111, the NBA Finals 111, Cleveland Cavaliers 111. Cleveland had 126, which is how many points they lost with on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, or the Warriors blew them out 126 to 91, a difference of 35 points, the King James number. King James 35, King James became a Freemason at 35. Anyhow, next game will be June 12th, 12/6, but look at this. The game was 237 combined points with 3:18 left. LeBron equals 237. LeBron also has the gematria of 96, June 9th, 9/6. But Cleveland Cavaliers, 3:18. 3:18. Biblical number. Biblical number. Remember, March 18th is the 77th day of the year. Christ equals 77. In the New Testament, there's 318 mentions of the return of Christ. Return, cycles, circles, pi, 318 connected to pi. This was a tribute right here that almost nobody would ever catch unless they know the language. When you know the language of gematria, you see what's going on in this rig sports theater. So here's the post. This is from Trav W. Trav W made a really good post about the Martin Luther King Jr. Day loss. I'm going to link this down below. What's interesting and something to note, I've really been expecting this to go to Game 7. I got on that pie sweep narrative as a possibility for June 9th, but now that that's over, we know that's not happening. Game 5, in the language of gematria, has a lot of connections to the king, which I talked about in the Boston series, why I said Cleveland would close out Boston in Game 5. But Game 5's upcoming. Game 5 is going to be 147 days from the Martin Luther King Jr. Day blowout, where the Warriors blew out the Cavs by 35, earning their 35th win of the season, the King James number. So 147 days later will be Game 5, and the reason that matters is this. I forgot to write one thing up here. The finals, the way that they like to advertise it, the finals, if you just write out the finals using the alphabetic order, it sums to 94. A basketball court is 94 feet long, 4,700 square feet. If you write out 94, it sums to 147, like Freemason, like conspiracy. In light of this game coming 147 days after the Martin Luther King Jr. blowout, I'm going to be paying attention. Possible the Warriors close it out in Game 5. But I don't know. Just based on how much lines up for Game 7, I think it's likely we end up there. Currently, the Cleveland Cavaliers in the playoffs, their current record is 113 and 93. 113. They earned their 113th win with the Game 4 win, the number that they kept putting in front of our face. If they win Game 5, that'll be the 114th win. Again, LeBron James 114. But if they lose, notice it'll be their 94th loss. The finals 94, 147 days from the Martin Luther King Jr. blowout. If the Cavs win Game 5, no doubt we're going to Game 7. No doubt. But it is possible that it concludes in Game 5. Also, down below, I'm going to link this blog post. I'm going to link all these blog posts. It's going to be a lot of links down in the description. But this video clip, watch this video clip. Or you know what? Shoot, I'll just do it right here. I got to fast forward ahead. All right, let me just talk for a second. Once the commercials, I'll skip ahead so you can hear this yourself. But what we're going to witness is the announcer, after the Cavs score their 46th point in the first quarter, he calls it a haymaker. A haymaker, which is boxing terminology. Again, we talked about the Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali thing. I got to skip ahead. It's like right up here. We'll just go right here. Let me get this turned up for you. I want you to hear the 46th points exclaimed as a haymaker, and we're going to talk about why that's so interesting one more time. Here we go. Listen carefully.
Here comes Jefferson. The Cavaliers have thrown a haymaker here in the first quarter. 46 points.
All right, so there it was. The 46th points called a haymaker. Now remember, last year Muhammad Ali died at the beginning of the NBA Finals. And I said his death is a ritual that the Cavs will win. Muhammad Ali became boxing champion of the world in 1964 in Miami Beach. Miami Beach equals 64, boxer 64, civil rights 64. Muhammad Ali became one of the faces of the Civil Rights Act. That was the last year the city of Cleveland had won a pro sports championship. So, also in Gematria, Miami Beach sums to 46, the reflection of 64. Parkinson's, what Muhammad Ali died from, equals 46. He died in Phoenix, which equals 46. He was born in Louisville, which equals 46. In 2014, I said why we would see Muhammad Ali die at age 74. When this college football season got underway, I showed you how Louisville's quarterback had the same birthday as Muhammad Ali, and I showed why he would likely win the Heisman, which he went on to do. The death of Rasham Salam made that very clear that that would happen. But just think about it. Here we are a year later, 46 points. LeBron James just being called the Muhammad Ali of the NBA by Muhammad Ali's ex-wife. Then the 46th points, the haymaker. When you really think about this stuff, it is just sick. It's sick. I mean, you have these announcers that know the games are rigged. They're talking about all this stuff that's all ritual and little Masonic, insider information. But I mean, it's just sick. Is that really a tribute to Muhammad Ali, calling their 46 points in the scripted game a haymaker? A man who was murdered last year for the finals? Unless he faked his death too. But the point is, I just want people to understand what is going on. I just showed over the weekend why the no-hitter came. The Miami Marlins got the first no-hitter of the season over the team from Phoenix, the Arizona Diamondbacks, where Muhammad Ali died. Happened on the one-year anniversary of his death. Last year when he died, it was the Miami Marlins that broke the news. Somehow the Miami Marlins knew that Muhammad Ali died before the hospital where he was in Phoenix. Got videos on all these things. Perfect ritual in baseball. Another perfect ritual here in the NBA Finals. Also, it was Richard Jefferson who scored those 46 points, and this man before the game yesterday pointed this out. He said, "Hey Zach, last time Warriors lost 4 straight, Richard Jefferson played for the Warriors, and he wore the number 44. Remember, chosen one equals 44. Richard Jefferson has had a long NBA career too. He was in the NBA when I was in high school, and that was a long time ago now. I graduated in 2001. Richard Jefferson, he's doing something right. Keeping the legs fresh. But this is a very interesting observation. 4 straight. We got the Kendrick Lamar song 4, where he takes a shot at Kevin Durant. Last night also, speaking of Kendrick Lamar, if you saw LeBron get interviewed after the game, when they put the mic up in front of him, he came up and he said, yeah, our team's got, how do you say it? Our team's got championship DNA. And in the background, the music was playing the Kendrick Lamar song with the DNA song. That's what it's called, right? DNA. And then as they went to commercial right after that, they had Kendrick Lamar's voice saying to tune in for Game 5. And I was like, oh my God. I mean, don't people just see what a scripted show this is? LeBron getting up there calling the team or saying it has championship DNA. Then you got Kendrick Lamar telling you to watch Game 5. In all of his lyrics, he's talking about the prophecy. Who's been telling you about rig sports and prophecy and the prophecy code? I mean, again, prophecy equals 106. Akron, Ohio 106, where Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Nate Thurmond were all born. And also, with regards to 4 straight, let's not forget that Scooter for the Reds, had those 4 home runs. He was the 17th player to ever hit 4 home runs in a game, the rarest baseball feat there is. I'm going to have to pull that up at the end of this post one more time. That's important. But somebody pointed this out to me last night that Damian Lillard tweeted this. Somebody asked him, you think the NBA is rigged like these other fools? I mean, whoever asked this question is just fucking retarded. To not know that the NBA is rigged, you have to be fucking retarded. That's always been the case. It's been so obvious that this league is nothing but a joke since I was a child. I was 7 years old when I was convinced the NBA was rigged. I don't know what it's taken everyone else so much time to catch up for. The NBA has always looked like a joke. It's never looked like basketball. Refs don't blow their whistles for travels, carries, double dribbles. If you go back and watch the Spurs-Warriors series, I didn't watch much of it, but I saw just enough to see Kevin Durant blatantly double dribble, no call, and then he went on to dunk the ball, and I thought, oh my God, what am I watching? I mean, you got all these refs on the court. I mean, if any of those refs officiated even middle school basketball and let that go, they'd probably lose their job. But anyway, Damian Lillard response. Unless a magnet is up there making shots go in or out. And what's funny is if you read the hundreds and hundreds of replies, it's like nobody even notices what he said. Everyone's just like, oh, obviously the NBA isn't rigged. That's what I mean. Some people say, well, how come nobody puts out the truth? I mean, the truth's put in front of your face every single day. The people who control the media, they know that the average person's just too dumb to see the truth. What do you think they did to you on September 11th? You know, they demolished buildings, no proof of a plane anywhere besides some visual graphic on TV that didn't make any sense. Then they told you they couldn't find any planes, they couldn't find any bodies, they couldn't find any luggage, but they found paper passports. I mean, the people who rule over us, they know the masses are just dumb, deaf, and blind. And down below in the description, find this post. This post is so long, I'd be here for another hour if I read this to you, but you want to read this post. This is awesome, awesome research. I guess I can skip over. Got too many windows open here. See if it's going to load up. But what this man documented is the very obvious scripting of the numerical patterns. The Cavs closed out the Pacers, who lost with 102 points in the playoffs. Then they closed out the Raptors, who lost with 102 points. Then they closed out the Celtics, who lost with 102 points. Notice 237 combined points, our LeBron James number. We talked about that 135-point score. That's the big Philadelphia number. Go back and watch the video. But then he took it back and he connected it to King James and the establishment of the country, and he noticed that on November 5th, which is a date where King James, there was an assassination attempt on his life, he noticed that on that day the Cavs beat Philadelphia with 102 points. This is Trav W, does really brilliant work. He knows how 102 has a relationship with 66, the LeBron James number. He knows the divisors sum to 216. The Cleveland area code. We talked about how the key of David sums to 135 and 216. But anyway, I'll link all this below. The one last thing, though, that I got to show you before we wrap up this long video is, again, this man right here for the Cincinnati Reds hitting 4 home runs in the game. He became the 17th player to ever do this, the 17th player to hit 4 for Cincinnati. 174. Ohio's the 17th state. Again, NBA equals 17. The Cavs, the 17th team to join the NBA. In the game he did this, the score was 1-13, like 1-1-3. Number of mainstream deception. And where is it here? This man's full name who did this is Ryan Joseph Gannett, 216. How perfect, right? He's born on May 1st, playing in Cincinnati. Cincinnati has that 66 gematria like LeBron. Gannett, 85 like basketball. His name connects to Major League Baseball and more. So, you know, for all of you who just troll in the comments, I mean, just learn to shut the fuck up. The point of my work is that sports are scripted. News is scripted, which is the important point to understand. I have proven my point. You know, none of you trolls could dismiss my work, discredit my work, prove otherwise. I've proven it. I'm the first person in the world to come and prove beyond a shadow of a doubt, case closed, game over, that sports are scripted. And they're a joke. And they're a mockery of people. And they're a waste of people's time and energy. And the point of my work is to wake people up, to spread the knowledge, so that we can take this world back from the tyrants who do this.